The Young and the Restless spoilers Thurdays full episodes July 31st. Jack's world unraveling. Jack Abbott had always prided himself on his ability to navigate the treacherous waters of Genoa City's business and familial dramas. However, recent events had left him teetering on the edge of insanity. The realization that his own son, Kyle, and the ever-cunning Audra Charles were conspiring against him was enough to push him past his breaking point. Audra and Kyle's relationship had grown dangerously close, a bond forged out of mutual ambition and a shared desire to see Jack brought to his knees. It wasn't just business, it was personal. They had plans, dark and sinister, to destroy everything Jack had worked his entire life to build. The thought gnawed at Jack's soul: how could Kyle, his flesh and blood, want him dead? Jack's mind flashed back to Kyle's childhood. The times he had disciplined him, trying to steer him on the right path, now seemed a cruel irony. Had he failed as a father? The anger surged through Jack's veins. He had half a mind to confront Kyle physically, to knock some sense into him just as he had disciplined him in his younger years. The urge to teach Kyle a lesson was overpowering. In the meantime, Diane Jenkins watched the unfolding drama with a mixture of disgust and dread. Audra had skillfully manipulated Kyle, bending his will to her own malicious ends. Diane could see through Audra's facade, recognizing the calculated malice in her every move. It was revolting to witness how easily Audra had taken control of Kyle's mind, steering him further away from his family and closer to destruction. But amidst the chaos, there was a glimmer of triumph for Summer Newman. The judge's ruling prohibiting Kyle from taking their son, Harrison, out of Genoa City was a victory she had long awaited. Summer had fought tooth and nail to protect her son from the toxic influence of Kyle's recent associations, and now, the law was on her side. She reveled in the moment, knowing that this was not just a legal victory but a moral one as well. Kyle was left with no choice but to go to Paris, stripped of the company of his beloved son. The custody of Harrison now firmly in Summer's hands served as a poignant testament to Kyle's recent failures as a father. It was a crucial piece of evidence that proved Kyle's inability to prioritize his son's well-being. As Kyle grappled with his new reality, he and his newfound ally, Claire, realized the need to become bolder and more strategic. The loss of Harrison was a wake-up call, a stark reminder of what was truly at stake. If Kyle and Claire wanted to regain custody, they would need to outmaneuver not just Summer, but also the lingering shadow of Jack's influence and Audra's manipulations. The stakes had never been higher for the Abbott family. The battlefield was not just the boardrooms of Genoa City but the very fabric of their familial bonds. Each move was a calculated risk, each decision a potential game-changer. And as the dust settled, one thing became clear: only the strongest and most cunning would emerge victorious in this relentless game of power and loyalty. This narrative expands upon the initial plot points, weaving them into a more detailed and cohesive story. If you need any further details or adjustments, feel free to let me know. Sharon's turmoil and the tangled web of love. Sharon Newman stood frozen, her heart pounding in her chest as she witnessed the undeniable betrayal unfold before her eyes. Nick Newman, her former lover and father of her children, was entangled in a passionate embrace with Phyllis Summers. They moved with a familiarity and intensity that left no doubt about their feelings for one another. Sharon's heart ached, but a part of her had always known this moment would come. Nick and Phyllis had a history, a bond that Sharon could never completely sever, no matter how hard she tried. Rage boiled within her, and she found herself on the verge of storming in and confronting Phyllis. She wanted to unleash the torrent of anger and heartbreak that threatened to consume her. But Sharon stopped herself. What right did she have to intervene? Nick and Phyllis were adults, capable of making their own choices. They were in love, and no matter how much it pained her, they had the right to be together. If Sharon acted on her impulse, she knew it would only make things worse. She would be seen as the jealous ex, unable to move on, and it would only fuel the gossip mill of Genoa City. Sharon was already in a fragile state, her emotions a chaotic whirlwind. She needed stability, someone to ground her. Faith and Mariah, her daughters, were her lifelines. They could provide the support and perspective she desperately needed during this tumultuous time. Meanwhile, the drama didn't end with Sharon's heartbreak. Across town, another emotional storm was brewing. Lily Winters and Billy Abbott had grown increasingly close, their chemistry undeniable. They shared moments of connection and understanding, moments that hinted at something deeper. It wasn't long before they found themselves on the brink of a kiss, their lips mere inches apart. This development infuriated Chelsea Lawson, who had her own complicated history with Billy. Billy had always been a man of principles when it came to love. He prided himself on being committed and faithful in his relationships. He wanted to end things with Chelsea cleanly before pursuing anything new with Lily. It was the honorable thing to do, but it didn't make the situation any less painful for Chelsea. Chelsea's anger was understandable. She had seen too many broken promises and unfulfilled dreams in her life. Billy's decision to move on felt like another betrayal in a long line of disappointments. But Billy was resolute. He needed to close one chapter before starting another. His integrity wouldn't allow him to act otherwise. Lily, on the other hand, was a complex figure. Her relationship with Billy had been fraught with deceit and manipulation. She had lied to him numerous times, leading him to question everything he thought he knew about her. Now, as they grew closer, Billy couldn't help but wonder if he was setting himself up for more heartache. What value did he still hold for Lily? Was he just another pawn in her game, or was there something genuine between them? As these intertwined lives continued to unravel, each character faced their own battles. Sharon had to find a way to heal and move forward, to accept Nick and Phyllis's relationship without letting it destroy her. She needed to lean on her daughters and find strength within herself. Nick and Phyllis, in turn, had to navigate the challenges of their renewed romance amidst the scrutiny and judgment of those around them. Billy had to come to terms with his feelings for both Chelsea and Lily, making decisions that would not only impact his own life, but also those of the women he cared about. Chelsea needed to find a way to cope with her anger and heartbreak, to rebuild her life without Billy. And Lily had to confront her own demons, to prove to Billy and to herself that she could be trusted and that their connection was more than just a fleeting moment of passion. In Genoa City, the complexities of love, betrayal, and redemption played out in a never-ending dance. Each character, driven by their desires and fears, sought to find their place in a world where loyalty and deceit were often two sides of the same coin. As they navigated their tangled relationships, they discovered that the path to happiness was rarely straightforward, and the journey itself was fraught with unexpected twists and turns. This narrative weaves the individual plot points into a more detailed and interconnected story, expanding on the characters' emotions and motivations. If you need further adjustments or additional details, let me know.